Dev Dimmadome, son of tech mogul and owner of the Dimmadome Globadome, Dale Dimmadome.
Okay.
And grandson of real estate mogul and owner of the Dimsdale Dimmadome, Doug Dimmadome.
Dev Dimmadome from Fairly OddParents, A New Wish started off seeming like your run-of-the-mill rich kid bully character. But much like Ghost and Molly McGee fan favorite character Andrea Dev quickly became so much more than that. Now, it's been several weeks since the finale aired, but I figured I would take a quick dive into what makes his arc so compelling, and what Season 2 can have in store for him and everyone else.
Remain seated, please. Permanecer sentados, por favor.
The Fairly OddParents A New Wish premiered on May 17, 2024, and immediately started generating buzz as people from all over realized it was actually possible to make a good version of the Fairly OddParents again. Except for this guy.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
But before we get too far into the video, please make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already, because all of that really helps me out in the almighty YouTube algorithm. Now, if you still haven't seen the show yet, I don't blame you, because it's only been airing on cable and we still don't know when it's actually going to drop on Netflix. But regardless, this video will contain heavy spoilers, so just be warned. We're first introduced to Dev in the first episode, where he seems to be a pretty one-dimensional rich kid bully character. I mean, literally the first shot where we see Dev has him using his drone to shove some poor kid in a locker. And of course, there's some parallels to characters like Pacifica Northwest and Andrea, being the rich, seemingly popular kid with parents who hold major influence in the town, banking off of their name. But a few episodes later in Wellsington Hotelsington, it's pretty obvious that the other kids at school don't even pretend to like Dev.
Who's that?
Ugh, it's Dev. He wants to know if I'm coming to his sleepover.
Why isn't anyone at my sleepover?
Compare this to Pacifica, who was very popular, and Andrea, who was an influencer. Of course, Hazel did wish that her apartment building was a luxury hotel, so I guess we don't know how many kids would have gone to Dev's sleepover if it wasn't for that. But it's pretty clear that Wynn doesn't like Dev, and the other kids don't like him either. Which, you know, makes sense because he's a huge jerk and sort of establishes himself as Hazel's nemesis.
You'll never get your pizza party now, hatchets!
This continues until a new development, in which Hazel casually wishes to understand why Dev acts the way that he does. And it results in the two of them getting paired up for Mr. Guzman's scavenger hunt assignment.
Dev is so mean. I wish I knew I acted like that.
And Hazel, you'll be working with Dev. I don't remember writing that.
During which they actually bond and become friends. And Hazel also sees firsthand that Dev's dad is kind of a huge jerk. But this brings us to Founders Day Parts 1 and 2, which is an episode I actually want to do a deeper dive on later on, but to sum it up quickly, it's Founders Day in Dimmadelphia, and the festival is run by Dev's dad. Dev is tasked with handing out magic bands, dim-lit wristwatches, to all the kids.
You can get tickets, a park map, and the weekend schedule all on your watch.
Do they also tell time?
No.
Which turn out to be devices that track spending. The exact kind of data mining that's gonna get Dale in massive trouble with the FTC. Dev would do anything to spend time with his dad, and his dad literally just does not care. Meanwhile, Hazel doesn't care about anything besides winning an awesome little Founders Day hat at the festival.
When did you get so into hats?
That's my thing. Ask anybody.
It's Hazel, of course, her well-known love of hats.
For some reason, Dale neglected to make the trivia some kind of an upcharge. And so when Hazel wins the hat, she decides to spend the rest of the day using Cosmo and Wanda to help other kids have a great day at the festival, which cancels out all of Dale's attempts at microtransactions. Dale finds out that there's a guest at the festival who's not spending any money and is making the kids around her spend less, and he insists on trying to capture this anomaly.
The faster au pairs deliver what kids want, the richer we get.
So you're jolting people's brains just to make money?
Tickling.
Like I said, I'll have another video about this episode later. This leads to a misunderstanding between Hazel and Dev, and results in Dev thinking he's ruined their friendship. But the end of this episode was what really got everyone talking.
Hey kid, I'm Poof. Well, at least I was. I changed my name to Perry. Like Periwinkle. Check the threads, huh?
They actually foreshadowed Poof's return earlier in the episode, but it was still a really great surprise to see him come back as an adult.
Oh, where's your son now?
We don't know. We sometimes forget because we were on vacation for 10,000 years.
I was sure it was gonna be a statue of that man and his son. Oh, I miss my son.
And of course, in Battle of the Dimmadome, we quickly learn that Dev and Perry don't really get along. It probably doesn't help that Perry is still inexperienced. I mean, this is his first ever god kid. And after Dev brings a ghost spirit thing back to life in an effort to scare/impress his classmates at the museum, not sure what Dev's endgame was with this one. Hazel, Cosmo, and Wanda find out that Dev has Perry and vice versa.
Dev?
Mom?
Son?
Hamlet?
Dad? Azalea?
Janet!
Dr. Scott!
Janet! Rook! Janet! Rook!
Candace?
Phineas!
Candace!
Isabella! Verb!
Candace!
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 Phineas!
Enough!
And Hazel lets Dev know that they're still friends and just need to talk things out. Now, I'm gonna skip over Lost in Fairy World, since that mostly just gives us a chance to see Hazel and Dev get into magic shenanigans in Fairy World, while Cosmo, Wanda, and Perry try to find them. Operation Birthday Takeback is yet another turning point in Hazel and Dev's relationship, and Dev's character arc. Cosmo, Wanda, and Perry end up exploring Dale's evil lair at the top of the Dimmadome Tower, and find out that Project H is actually about figuring out why Hazel didn't buy anything at the Founders Day Festival. Meanwhile, Dale accidentally hired the worst party princess imaginable.
Just watch. I bet this will be your most memorable birthday party ever. You must be the young prince whose birthday it is.
That's right, Vicky's back. And she quickly turns the party into a child sweatshop, which is horrible and completely on brand for her.
Who wants to make teddy bears? You stuff them and you sew them. Work your merry fingers. Faster, bigger, balloonier. The party I'm princessing tomorrow is balloon themed, and I'm charging them for every single one.
Yep, totally worth it. Cosmo and Wanda are ultimately able to scare Vicki away by pretending to be actual responsible adults.
Why is she still working in childcare?
She followed her passion, which is yelling at kids.
Adults must be her kryptonite. That would have been really handy to know a couple decades ago.
Vicki is literally in her 30s. Dev finds out what Project H is actually about and begins spiraling. Dev not only pushes Hazel away, but also Perry. And this trend continues in Best of Luck, where Dev sends Perry away again and gets a visit from IRAP, Perry's anti-fairy. And they begin to break all of the rules, cheating at the rock, paper, scissors tournament at school, before taking things way too far, resulting in Jorgen getting involved. Hazel tries to reach out to Dev, but is shut down yet again.
I don't know what your real problem is with me, but
I don't need your caring and understanding, Hinkle.
fine, be like that. You wanted to win so bad? Take the dumb shirt. I hope it was worth it.
Oh, but then we get this moment in the time loop episode.
I don't care who likes me. I don't like any of you back!
Wow, I never noticed how ruthless you are. I love you, Hazel Antoinette Wells.
But I'm not really counting that as a moment in their relationship. And everything finally comes to a head in the battle for Big Wand, where Dev and IRAP take over Fairy World right as Hazel's about to get her rule-free wish for making 1,000,000 wishes. Which, not to be a CinemaSin stickler, doesn't really add up, because even if she's had Cosmo and Wanda for a year, that'd be 2,739 wishes per day. Assuming she sleeps for about 8 hours a day, I really don't think she's making approximately 152 wishes per hour. what was I talking about? Oh yeah, anyways, Dev is primarily doing this in the hopes of getting his dad's attention.
We had the same goal. Take over Fairy World. Them in order to rule on Earth. Me in order to show my dad I should be his priority.
Ugh.
Which does work.
My son. Development Dev Dimmadome staged a hostile takeover of a whole land of magical beings. I'm so proud of my son.
You heard him, right? Everybody heard that?
It almost makes me want to throw away my boots. Almost.
For, like, 2 seconds.
IREP, tell me more about your vision for fairy worldwide domination.
Happy to, Delio. My vision
Oh, yeah.
starts
Well,
like this.
Consolidation.
Damn. With magic revealed to the world, Hazel rounds up Jasmine, Wynn, and... Hold on. Why is Anthony here? Even if Earth is just Pangea now, Anthony's going to college on the other side of the country, and it makes absolutely no sense for him to... You know what? At least we get to see him do this stupid run. Oh, I forgot to mention that in Fairy for a Day, it was mentioned that fairies need to be able to grant wishes and use magic, otherwise they suffer from magical buildup and ultimately explode. Dev hadn't had Perry grant him a wish in weeks, so of course Perry is starting to have this magical buildup. That same episode also set up the MacGuffin of the chip that controls the magic in the wand. Dev and IREP had built a new chip because... Dark web, sure, why not? Anyways, in Perry's delirious sick state, he says that he really does care for Dev, which is something that Dev's never really had before. Dev feels bad and tells Cosmo and Wanda that the chip is in the throne, and Hazel and Wanda are able to switch it back and save Fairy World. Which brings us to the ending, and the part that most fans have a problem with. Dev having his memory erased and Perry taken away.
You had to know if we restored Fairy World, you'd lose Perry and get your memory wiped. But you helped them anyway.
Yeah, well, maybe I deserve it, Hazel.
Oh, you definitely do. But thank you for doing the right thing.
So does Fairy World have stock options or
A lot of fans have argued that this is too hard on Dev, and that Hazel should have made her wish so that he remembered in addition to Jasmine, Wynn, and Anthony. Well, first of all, they tease that he might have actually not forgotten after all. Some fans have pointed out that sunglasses have circumvented memory wipes before, but whether or not he remembers, he's not keeping Perry, and that's honestly kind of the point. And Cosmo spells out why.
Think maybe you're mad because what you really wanted was impossible for any fairy to give you?
The one thing you really wanted, no fairy could give you. Think about it. Dev is a kid who has every material thing he could ever want, because money is basically not an object. But that's not what Dev needs. If anything, having a fairy godparent is actually the opposite of what Dev needs. And I think it's also important to remember that it's not Hazel's job to fix Dev. And Hazel has tried to talk to Dev about what's actually bothering him, but she can't do anything if he won't open up to her. As Lindsay Gataï said shortly after the finale aired, having experienced trauma doesn't give you the right to be in rage mode 24/7. You have to process your feelings. And I think the fact that people are mad about this finale is a good thing, actually. It means that people are truly invested in these characters and their story. It was so well done that S&P sent them a note saying that the ending of Operation Birthday Takeback was really sad. Not that they couldn't do it, just that it made them sad. I feel like fans would feel differently if we knew that the show was getting a season 2. But of course, everything is still up in the air. As of right now, the show still hasn't been renewed for a second season. I'm hopeful given how successful and popular the show has been, but the animation industry is in such a bad place right now that you can unfortunately never be sure about anything, no matter how popular it is. But assuming we do get a season 2, I think Dev's going to have to learn how to deal with his feelings and actually open up to his friends about his problems. Most importantly, he's going to have to actually come to terms with the fact that his dad will never be there for him. But there's other people who could be, if he gives them the chance to. but I want to know what you guys thought. What did you think of the Fairly OddParents: A New Wish in its Season 1 finale? Let's discuss this in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Chandler O'Shea. Okay, but what was Vicki's game plan for getting everything transported to the next party?